Hi, welcome to Bias Craft Creations. Thanks for taking time out every day to hang out, chit chat, craft, and create with me. Today I'm gonna come on with the Masterboard make, and it's almost done. I thought I would take you along. So these are some that I have done in the past for Masterboard makes and whatnot, and I thought we would do something similar to these. And this one was mostly that gold paper, and I had another make that I had with that in the stitching, and I love the stitching on them. So I decided that this year I want to do more of that with my Masterboards because I really love the journal cards, and they finish so beautifully for a journal. This one is like a chunky one. So this is the same Masterboard that I did, and I did different flowers on them. It's going to be the same one all the way through. And I wanted to share how I make them, but I wanted to share these first. These are some of the Masterboards that I've done, and they're not put together, but I knew I wanted to do journaling cards with them. So these are the bases. I call them Masterboard bases, and they're just ready to go, so I can come in here and be like, oh, I have brown that I need. Do I have anything that has browns and pinks? And then I can go, I do, and that Masterboard's already ready to go. I just need to add to it, embellish it, which is what I'm going to do today, is embellishing the Masterboard journal cards. So I keep them in here. My Masterboards are all in that plastic folder thing that I did last week. So this one is already done, and I really love how that came out. And I'm using this twine that I got from the Dollar Tree as my sewing part, and then I inked up the back. Each of them are inked up, and I already poked the holes in them to stitch, and all my flowers are already glued down on them, and they're ready to be sewn. But I figured I would take you along and let's do one together. My other side of this is ready to be flipped. So I have my Masterboard here. This is the journaling card that I knew I wanted to create with the Masterboard, and it has all the same similar colors for them. Each of them are very similar in color. So this one was attached like right there, and then you have the stripes over here like that. I find it's kind of fun to try and put them back together after I cut them up, just to see what they would look like and whatnot as a whole. So I believe it was an 8.5 by 11, and it's kind of comical to try and put it back together the way it looks right now because not all the pieces were the same. So you get the idea of the Masterboard, really beautiful. So let's make a journaling card with the Masterboard base. So we've got our thing. We're going to ink up the back first, and I have two colors for this one. I pulled the colors from the papers that I thought would look great on it, and I used a green cardstock for the back. So the first thing I'm going to do is that Lucky Clover. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I absolutely love doing this. And we're going to do it on this way. I love adding the oxide inks to just about everything. I don't always do it, but it is one of my favorite things to do. I think it's because of the little magic that you get with it. Adding that water just really activates it and makes it look absolutely gorgeous. And you never know what you're going to get. It is really like a little magic happening right before your eyes. I'm just going to blend that a little bit better. And now my favorite part. We're going to take that, open up my bottle, and we're just going to let the magic happen right before our eyes with that water. Now, most of the time I will go back over with it, but this time I decided not to. I think it needed a light touch with the ink. I really needed that light touch, and adding that color over it, I think would take away from it. And I'll show you what I mean by a light touch. So we'll let that dry a moment before we continue on. And I have a piece of scrap paper over here. It's kind of oily. I think it's from a magazine. but it will work, so I can show you what I mean by a light touch. When you're inking with darker colors, you're going to get really dark on there. Then you take your water and whatnot and you'll do your activation of your coloring. So we have that really light touch right there. And I don't know if it's going to work because it's a magazine page. Yeah, it's going to wipe off. Let me try this little piece right here. No, that's a magazine too. I really didn't want to use that paper, but you know what? We're going to use this paper. Shiny surfaces don't tend to hold the ink very well. Alright, so we have our ink on this piece here. We're going to add our water. So we have that light touch. It's very like airy and very pretty. Really pretty, light touch. So we have that really light touch to it. We come in with a darker color or that same color. And now you're going to see that it's a little bit darker and whatnot. That piece that we did with all these light, airy touches is gone. It's no longer there. You can add more water to it, but you're still going to get that piece is going to be completely covered up. Do you see what I mean? So when I say a light touch, that's what I mean. I don't want to darken up that little bit. I want to keep it nice and airy. Blend a little bit there. So nice and airy, beautiful. That part's done. We're not going to ink anymore. Then I'm going to add a piece of paper and then my flower. And my flower is just layered paper. And then I took a piece of another like paper flower that I purchased a while ago. And then this here was gifted. And I really want to thank whoever gifted it to me. But I don't remember who it was that gifted me the brown flowers. Thank you. They worked perfect for this. I'm going to use hot glue for this one, because it's just easier and quicker for the glue to dry. Find my location that I want this piece here, because I want to have, I really want that butterfly showing a little bit. So let's put it here. We want to have a little bit of this whiteness so that they can journal on both sides and whatnot. And then I have a brad. I always use brads for my flowers, but we're going to use that brad and cover it this time. Just like that. So beautiful, right? Let's unplug this because we're not going to need that anymore. And I don't want to knock it off my table and end up burning somebody or myself. More myself and the cat. Then I'm going to take my awl. You don't need to use an awl. I just find it easier. And I'm going to decide which way I want, because you don't always have to go up in here. And I think I'm going to start here. Carefully your fingers, and I'm just going to push through. I recommend if you're going to sew with twines and heavy threads and yarns to poke your holes first, so that it's a little bit easier for it to go through. And having an awl, this Sharpie thing, will help get your holes in there and make it big enough that you can get your thread through. Just be careful of the sharp point. You don't want to poke yourself. And I'm keeping my fingers back a little so I don't poke myself. But I'm strengthening my paper with my fingers. And that one's good there. Let's go here and here. And it works up really good when you already have your masterboard done. And I don't want to go into those flowers. I'm going to go under them. Just like that. And then we'll take our twine. And I usually go about 25 inches. Usually. Sorry, about 29 inches. You usually do 29 inches. For the masterboard cards, depending on how I want to do it, you know what I mean? Do I want to do the squareness of it? And that's where you do like a running stitch. So we're going to go in here first, right underneath that flower. I'm going to pull it up through that hole, and I'm going to leave a tail. I like to leave the tails on, and then we're just going to continue like we're sewing, doing the basic stitch, going around. If you want to do the like running stitch, I think it is, you would grab your thread up and underneath this part, go underneath that, and it would give that look of a running stitch. I think that's what they call it, a running stitch. I just like to go like this, back and forth underneath. I think that looks really pretty. So it's the stitch that looks like this. I just think that one's really, really pretty on that stitch. And then just go all the way around. And you can hear Miss Sass in the background. She's playing with a piece of paper. Should I be talking about her? She stopped. So just pull tight, but not too tight that you're going to rip your paper. And then go all the way around. So I'm going to pause it for a moment so that you can see the magic of YouTube with the coming back and it's done. Alright, got it all stitched, and the way I finish it off is a square knot. So I just take them and tie them like that. Swap hands. So one is over and then the next time it's under, kind of thing, and just hang it down. And if I still had my hot glue gun on, I would finish it off with the hot glue, but I kind of like the way they hang, and they'll become really loose and frayed and beautiful. So that is how I make the journaling card of a Masterboard, and it's really pretty. You have all these gorgeous little peaks of like the butterfly and the flowers coming through, and then you have that journaling on the back. Perfect to put into a journal, a junk journal. And if you've got like the thick pages, it's perfect because they are a little thick, but I love them that way. I think they're really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these babies off, sewing them up. I will try to put a picture at the end. I won't do a video on these ones here because they're going to look just like this with that sewing stitch on there. So I will try to remember to put a picture at the end so you can see what they all look like. Thank y'all for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.